Yeah, let's do it again. 3, 2, 1. Second time's a charm.
We'll see. We'll see if it works.
Yeah, so we were saying the tables have turned.
Yeah, we have some technical difficulties. Now it just feels like artificial. But yeah, now my kid is officially born. I like to be transparent. We're kind of recording a little bit ahead of time. So, but yeah.
Yes.
I am predicting I'm probably going to be very sleepy by the time this airs and tired and very much used to bodily fluids from different orifices.
The new life.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, again, it's one of those, like, a lot of my students, it's really bizarre. My students are very, like, excited. Weird. I'm like, why? Like, aren't you excited? I'm like, yeah, but I'm more like concerned, like, why are you excited? Like, you're not. It's like, but it's like our kid now. Like, I legit have like a few seniors who are like, but now she's like our niece. I'm like, no, we're not related. Yeah, she's like my sister. I'm like, no, she's not.
Well,
I appreciate it, but no.
Yeah, that's a nice sentiment, but
it is. I mean,
it is concerning.
Yeah, it's sort of like, okay, where's that coming from? Like, what's the root of that? But I mean, complete side note, but like I did realize that a lot of my students, usually the girls, create like a family. Like, there's always like they take up roles. Like, there's always like the mature one that's very like motherly like or maternal, and there's always like the very, very immature one that everyone is sort of like acknowledges that they're just kind of really immature. Like, they treat them like a child. It's a very interesting dynamic, but it's kind of odd when they're kind of projecting that onto like me. They're like, oh, she can be like the youngest sister. I'm like, don't bring my daughter into your friendship dynamics. But it means well. It's a good it's not malicious in any way, so
yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
So it's all cool.
Yeah, and it's gonna be like again, full transparency. Right now we're filming. It's the mid of September.
Ahead of time, yeah.
But this is gonna be coming out in like early December.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Well, because I mean, I feel like we repeat ourselves every episode, but because every episode comes like a month later. But this is mostly for people that are like new. It's like we have full-time jobs, and this is not our careers. This is kind of like a side hustle, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and another idea what people are thinking, like, why would this be airing in December, is because we have another episode that we're launching now in September that's already recorded, and then we're recording another one later today, which is actually going to go ahead of this one.
Yeah,
with a guest. So
it'll just.
Which you have already seen because...
Yeah, so the one that we have not recorded yet, you will see...
Before this
one.
Yeah. It's like Memento, you know that
So
movie,
we have
Memento?
no clue what we talked about last episode, technically.
Yeah.
But it is actually the movie Memento.
Last episode's me can kick this episode's me's ass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's... Actually, one thing, and again, we're kind of like ahead of time, but... One thing I predicted that I talked about, seems like months ago at this point, about the NPC people.
Oh, the NPC craze, yeah.
Right?
I have been seeing that
So I talked about it like a month before it blew up or so. Maybe for like a few weeks. And then right when the episode came out, it was around the same time it blew up. But it was one of the first times like I got it right for once. It was like I predicted something. Pretty much I saw one video of a girl saying, yes, strong woman, and all that kind of stuff, repeating. And then within like 3-4 weeks, like every person was doing that, just racking up the dollars. And my critique was more not really critiquing the person doing it, but more like who are the people giving them money, kind of like not egging them on, but creating like a thing.
And did you ever investigate as to like who's giving these people money? Like, where's this money coming from?
I mean, as of this point, I haven't. I'm assuming it's just kids that have access to their parents' credit cards. That's the only way I could think of it. or just creepy dudes that are much older and have a thing.
And it's funny you say that because I actually just saw an article, which by the time you're seeing this was
very old
September.
article at this point.
But I just saw an article with a kid who, I guess it was his birthday or it was like some kind of celebration. He got a gift from a family member, and the family member gave him $50. You know, nice little gift for a young kid. Within that weekend, he had already given it all to like streamers and
oh my god,
and donated it to like, you know, not donated it, but you know, like
just gave him
kind of like
his money away.
like Discords and things like, you know, like online streamers and things like that. And the kid didn't do anything with the money. You know, he just pretty much gave it away.
Was it cash or was it like a credit?
Well, either I don't know if it was like a gift card or something, but that's what he used the money for.
It was probably a gift card, like a Venmo or something like that. Because you can't just shove a dollar into your phone and make it.
Yeah,
no, that's not how that works.
Definitely not. No, unless they gave him Dogecoin.
Yeah, well, there's that. But there's one meme where it's a baby on a porch eating like 10 cheeseburgers or 30 cheeseburgers. I don't know. It was a lot of cheeseburgers, but the baby actually toddler, like maybe like 3 years old or 4 years old, literally ordered like a bunch of cheeseburgers from what are those apps? DoorDash kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And some dude or girl or whoever, DoorDash person, legit just walked up and just dropped off 30 cheeseburgers to a toddler. You're an idiot. Don't do that. And it was like one of those things like, I don't know. It just being a parent. It's apparent that we're parents. But yeah, we are parents. And it just feels like I would do that differently. I don't think I would want my child to have access to my phone. So first sponsor is Nbox. Give your home-based business its own mailroom. View your open and scan mail from an encrypted app. Have it forwarded, held for pickup, or shredded and recycled. We'll even include a commercial business address to protect your privacy. Visit www.nboxdelivers.com to see more.
And with our next sponsor, we have Angelic Interference, which is a clothing company that taps into all you astrology lovers out there. Check them out. We're going to put the link down below. They're going to be coming out with a lot of poetry, artwork, music that goes along with their clothing line. So a lot of exciting things coming their way, and we appreciate them being a sponsor of the podcast. The next sponsor is Worldwide Solutions. They can take care of all your tax needs. I know tax season is already passed, but you know, they do business payroll, all types of solutions for businesses, anything tax related, LLCs, incorporated. So reach out to them. Rick's Barbershop, which is here in Garfield. They will have you looking great for your next bar mitzvah or your communion or wedding, whatever you have coming up. They can take care of you. Just let them know Words Are Tough sent you, and they'll give you the Words Are Tough treatment. And the last sponsor, of course, Premier Rank Marketing. They've been with us since day one. They help businesses with online solutions such as video content, online campaigns, Hulu advertising, YouTube, Facebook, Google, Twitter, all the socials. They take care of everything for you. They give you an individual plan, no matter what type of business, brick and mortar, phone-based, huge company, or sole proprietor. So reach out to them and they'll hook you up. And if you tell them Words Are Tough sent you, they'll give you 50% off, which is a great deal. All right, thank you, and back to the show.
That's actually not bad.
Yeah, and you have to have all those safeguards, like the parental controls that you always zoom past on your TV and Fire Stick.
Yeah.
And like you got to have those same things for the financials on your phone, on your iPads.
Yeah, just like how you like safeguard or make your environment like baby safe, you should also make your tech devices baby safe or toddler safe.
Yeah,
it's really important. I mean, myself and my wife are doing that, but we're also like trying to lead by example, not lead by telling, but showing. Like we already like we're kind of found different recipes on how to have like healthier desserts. Like, you know, getting watermelon, freezing it, making it into like a slush or whatever. Add some lemons. It's actually really good. Or instead of like Hershey Kisses, we eat like dates, which which are way sweeter than Hershey Kisses.
Yeah, actually, dates are like poison to like diabetics. They can't have.
Yes. So my mom, well, she's not diabetic, but she's like pre-diabetic.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just being raised in Puerto Rico and eating like mangoes like every day. She has a sweet tooth. When it comes to fruit, not like candy.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of odd. You can become diabetic via just actually eating fruit, like eating too much fruit.
Yeah.
Side note, a side note on our side note. Do you know that now in a lot of zoos, they don't give their like monkeys and animals fruit?
Really?
Yeah, because the fruit is just too much. Like the red pandas are just getting fat. Even though they look cute, look up a fat red panda. It's adorable. But like the way we've like manipulated fruit, it's like super ripe, super sugary. It's like to a degree that it's actually almost unhealthy. To a degree, not obviously eat fruit. That's better than eating like a Snickers bar, but it's all about balance. You can't just be eating. But yeah,
they've put the profits over the general health of people. Like they want the bananas to be really sweet, so people buy those bananas.
Yeah,
and same thing like the cotton candy grapes and things like that.
Cotton candy grapes.
You haven't seen those? I mean, I haven't tried. You know what? Actually, I did try them. But there's like these grapes that taste like cotton candy.
I'm tempted.
Yeah.
I might even try it. But yeah, so we're trying our best to like make our own stuff. And growing up, we weren't poor, but I couldn't like when we got ice cream, it was not like name brand. It was like the big tub. It was always not Napoleon. It's just vanilla, chocolate. Neapolitan. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
I got the Dumbs after work, but actually, technically, I'm not coming from work. I'm I'm actually have paternity leave at this point. But that was pretty much it. Like we just had Neapolitan, huge like 2-gallon tub, but. Oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, like my mom used to make this thing called lean bed.
Mm-hmm.
Ever heard of that? Lean bed?
No.
It's like pretty much like condensed milk with some cinnamon and vanilla, and I forget one other thing. I think like coconut shreds or whatever, and you would just freeze it, and that would be your like, little snack. And then my mom would like have a freezer full of that. So. We're trying to go the same route, like, hey, instead of like going out to Walmart or whatever every day, just make something at home, and also have like maybe have the kid help out, and she can make her little treats. I don't know.
And you can straight up go just like frozen grapes, frozen banana.
Yeah,
those are great. I mean, I know those are sugary too, but simple.
It's what's in a grape for the most part.
Yep. Yep. Except those cotton candy ones, you gotta watch out for.
Yeah. Actually, what's not good for you? You can't just like throw like a bunch of like fruit in a blender and think it's healthy for you. What's
like a acai bowl, like the ones that are like over the top.
Those are addicting. After jiu-jitsu, that's like heaven. But not good for you, but tastes really good. But can you guess what is the one fruit that if you put it in your smoothie, it kind of neutralizes all the nutrients? That it's like you're practically just drinking sugar at that point. Can you guess?
I would say one more second.
You kind of said it already, but not grapes.
Banana?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's actually a chemical in banana that like neutralizes like if you eat it at the same time you eat like a strawberry or like an orange or whatever, you don't actually receive all the nutrients because of some chemical.
But it's just when it interacts with other fruits?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was thinking, I was like...
So just remove the banana completely from like a shake.
Yeah.
Even though it gives that creamy kind of feel, it actually doesn't really... I mean, you still get something, but you don't get everything.
Yeah, because banana's really popular in protein shakes, like at gyms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But this is with protein, though, so that's different, right?
Yeah, it's Yeah, if you put banana in a protein shake, you're still gonna get the protein. It's all the other vitamins.
Gotcha.
All the vitamins.
Fruit specific.
I like saying vitamins. It sounds very posh. But yeah, it's like it's a very different perspective having a kid. Even like work. Like now, I used to when I used to go to work or have commissions, and I have 2 that I should have done. Well, by this point, I'm done with those commissions, but. Anyway, so it's weird speaking in the future.
Yeah,
it's
those commissions that went really well.
It's the first time in a while where like this commission feels more like work than like fun or play because like it needs to work out and I need the money.
Gotcha.
So it's like, and because it feels like work, I don't desire to do it as much, even though it's like my artwork and I like to do my art. But because there's that like. If you don't do it, then you don't have that extra, like, that extra money in your bank account, which you need.
Absolutely.
So and also because it's sort of like performance anxiety. Like I need to make this work because if not, then no money.
Yeah.
Or I need to make it work within this a lot of time because I want to spend time with the kid. Mm-hmm. So in the past, I'll have a commission or art show, whatever. And I'll be, I could come whenever. I'll come like at 11, and then I'll just be there all day till like 1 a.m. in the morning doing a painting or whatever. Now I'm more like, no, it has to be from this time to this time, and I got to be out by that time. It's very structured. I mean, in a good way, but at the same time, it's like, before I was an adult, now I'm like an adult. I'm a super adult.
Yeah, life changes a lot. Big time.
And your kid is...
By the time this is going to be released, it will be close to her first birthday, yeah. So it's been a year. Yeah, it's been a wild year.
It's
gone fast.
Does she walk yet? I'm not too
familiar. Actually, right now, she's 8 months. So she's like crawling, starting to crawl. She just learned how to like effectively crawl forward. She was crawling backwards for a little bit, which is normal. And she's like does this thing where she does like the downward dog where she put her hands and like straighten her legs out, but she doesn't know where to go from there, and she like falls. And
I think the head's still too big.
Yeah, and then but yeah, she's learning. We got her in like a jumper thing now.
Oh, you kind of put them up and kind of jump up and
down?
It's
kind of like, it looks like a swing, but it just has like a spring on the top.
Up and down.
Yeah, and then you put them like so just their toes are touching, and they just like hop around a little bit for like 15 minutes. It's like a time limit.
Yeah, and everything's expensive.
Every formula is super expensive.
Yeah, my wife is leaning away from formula, understandably, but we'll see what happens. Like, I lean towards like, let's stick to just, breast milk. But
yeah,
I'm sure
anyone that can feed their baby like that, it's literally like liquid gold. What nurses say.
Liquid gold.
They say even if like when you just have the baby, just feed them like initially, that'll go a long way, giving them like good bacteria and shit like that. Well, I think we're 10 minutes in. But
no, we're far from. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're far from 10 minutes.
Bacteria, defenses. There's so many studies about all different things. Then aside from like the what's it called, wives' tale stuff. Which, there's some truth to that kind of stuff. But, no, absolutely. Even if it's just for a short time, I would suggest if you can do it. Some people can't. And
that makes sense.
Yeah, some people aren't able to.
I was doing prenatal classes with my wife. All of it's online at this point. Nothing's in person.
Zoom?
Yeah. And towards the end of it, we did several, like 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
And towards the end of it, one lady asked, "Hey, like, what do I do if my cat starts stealing my baby's breath?" And the woman's like, "I have no clue what you're talking about." And we have 2 cats, and my wife kind of like started typing away in the comments, like, "That's not a thing. I have 2 cats." We have 2 cats, and it pretty much is like this old wives' tale that cats like to lay on things, especially people. And sometimes a cat will literally just, if you're not careful, the cat will just lay on top of the baby and just stare at it. And and then the baby might die
because it won't be able to breathe
because of the weight. But this is the old wives' tale. It's like, oh, cats will steal your baby's breath, and that's. I mean, they will kill your child if you're not careful.
Yeah, definitely.
But they're not gonna steal their breath, literally. It's that. Well, we already have gates and whatnot to kind of like divide the house accordingly. But I love my brother's cat, but she's like 19 at this point. So I don't know how long she's gonna live for. We'll see. She's adorable. She's great. She's been around since I was like 19 or so, or 18. 18? Yeah. So she had a long life, so I'm not too worried about her. She can't really jump on top of things anymore. She kind of like climbs up the things. Like she'll climb up she climbs up everything. She never actually jumps, but it's a lot of those again, like prepping and making sure your environment is like safe and don't have your cat, steal your child's breath, literally.
Yeah, you don't want that. Definitely not.
You don't want your child dead.
Yeah.
Actually, this whole like SIDS, I think it's called. SIDS.
Yeah, very scary.
Sudden infant death syndrome.
Yeah, and it's different because one thing I do want to say from people and like reading up online and stuff, a lot of people confuse that for the baby suffocating in the crib.
Yeah.
But there's physical suffocation, and then SIDS is something else, where it's very still like murky in the scientific community, but they're trying to narrow it down to like that there's a specific brain development that the kid stops breathing and doesn't know to keep breathing. And that's kind of like what they narrowed it down to. Another thing is, for some reason, there isn't a link to melanin, but it is true that the darker the baby, African countries, Hispanic countries, African being
African
the
descent.
highest, people who are affected by SIDS, and also male babies.
Interesting. So I didn't know there was a predisposition based on ethnicity or background. I know that.
Yeah, and it goes like, like African, Latino, Asian, white, and like white being the least.
Interesting.
Yeah,
but it has to do with pretty much brain development, and during that brain development, the brain fails to give the signal to breathe, and
the baby, they stop breathing in their sleep somehow. And it's like some kind of link like that. But that's from the most research I've had, and they even are still puzzled. They're still figuring it out.
And don't come at us at the pseudoscience. I don't know.
Yeah, they're still figuring it out. But the numbers are true though. The numbers are, you can't, those are
like the likelihood or statistics of
exactly.
Based
That's not pseudoscience, but just the reason why people have, because they're trying to find answers, because a lot of people don't have answers, and it's a very tragic thing, So
obviously.
I
I wonder at what point is that no longer a factor? Is it like past 6 months
think
or past
6
a
months
year?
is like a high chance that it's in the past already.
Okay.
3 to 6 months, I think, is like the danger zone as far as like the highest likelihood. But it could still happen after 6 months. But it becomes more rare at that point.
Cool.
From what I've read.
I mean, there's a lot of actually, I think I could mention this because they're kind of weird. Have you gotten any people that are like anti-vaxxers voicing their thoughts and opinions?
Where though? Like
either in person.
Oh, you mean like
or
that
online?
I know like that will interact with my family and like give their opinion? You mean?
Yeah.
Oh no! I mean, I have some people in my family who, when it came to the COVID vaccine, they made their own
questioning
to. Damn, I said the word, but.
Oh, the pandy.
Yeah, I'll like bleep it out. But
is that still a thing?
They didn't want to do it. I think the algorithm still. Yeah.
Does it still
definitely
affect the algorithm saying COVID? I don't know.
They had their own opinion, and of course, they have their own kids and gave their opinions to them, and that's fine. But as far as like shots with like babies and things like that, I don't think that anyone that I know.
Yeah.
No, because you actually can't go to school for the most part if you don't get those shots.
There's certain shots you actually need.
Yeah.
Or you can't actually go to. It's really odd because I normally hear like direct opinions or direct like actual conversations. I don't really entertain it, but it's always been, "Oh, you're having a kid? Oh, great. Oh, yeah, I have a kid too." You know what? They always say, "You know what?" Or, so yeah, like, so what are your plans? And I'm like, well, we're planning on trying to do as natural as possible. Like, but if an epidural is necessary, then all right. If an emergency happens and a C-section is necessary, then all right. But we try our best to kind of keep it natural as, everyone wants a natural thing, but it always ends up to like vaccinations and like, oh yeah, like you got to be careful with vaccination. Like my one kid, he won't, he's running around and jumping off the walls. I'm like, okay, maybe that's just like a you thing. Like I don't, like I don't know. It's like, but there's a lot of how do you say, information out there that's very convincing. That's the best way I can say it. And I do think that some people just like believe it. And I'm not saying question everything or believe everything, but it's the information of like the connection between like autism and vaccinations just aren't solid, from my understanding. But I don't know. It's one of those things where this is my point of view, and it might hurt some people's feelings, and I'm okay with that. Sometimes your child might have autism. Sometimes they may have Asperger's. Sometimes they have ADHD or some sort of condition, and no one's perfect. And I honestly believe like no one's technically normal. And I do think that some individuals don't want to feel like they are the cause of their child's, I guess you can say, misfortune. I mean, I know people that have Asperger's and autism, and they're wonderful. They're high functioning autism, obviously. But I do think there's that finding another reason of possibility of why your child is this way. I mean, I've already admitted to myself that if my child has anything, when it comes to like neurological stuff, it's because it's genetically predisposed to, like myself and my wife. Like I have learning disability. She believes she has ADHD. It looks to me, it seems like she has ADHD. She has those tendencies, so there's a good chance if our child has that, I'm not gonna say it's because of vaccinations. It's because these vaccines. Like, I know I might like lose half or a portion of her audience when I say that, but I don't know. That's how I view it. It's like if the child has something, there's a good chance because of genetics.
Yeah, and sometimes you can't you can see why a person would say, oh, maybe something my doctor did recommending me to take baby Tylenol or something. I don't know. You don't take baby Tylenol when you're pregnant, but I mean,
or vitamin K.
There's like a specific Tylenol that you could take when you're pregnant, and then I've seen online where there's like class action lawsuits against doctors. Maybe because I've searched looking for things, it pops up on Facebook.
Oh yeah, you can get to you get dark holes.
Yeah, and then it's like you'll see an ad that'll be like, and then I'm like, see, the doctor told you could take, to my girl. And then it's like, and at the same time, it's probably just a bunch of people, like you said, they don't want to take the truth for,
Yeah, I won't say the word responsibility. That's kind of harsh.
Yeah, no.
But like, hey, you're just genetically predisposed to this.
And there's also tests, I guess for people that are thinking of having kids and haven't had them yet. There's tests you can take with your partner if you're deciding that you want to have a kid. And you're worried about that, maybe you have a family history with someone in your family. Yeah. You can take a test, and especially when the baby's really young, or you could both do blood tests, and it can give you matches of like, hey, there's like a dangerous match here that My
wife and I did all the tests that we can possibly do without endangering the fetus at the time. So yeah, I don't know, it's one of those like sticky, odd topics because you don't want to tell a parent that like it is your fault. That's just mean.
Yeah.
But it's not some boogeyman trying to like, get your kid. For the most part. I mean, do I believe that there's malicious unscrupulous people out there. Yeah, like there's that one nurse that I think can I say the word unalived children, like babies.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like 12
in the UK, right?
Yeah, in the UK, like a lot, maybe more than 12, but a lot. So yeah, there's people out there that are very messed up.
But was she killing babies that were sick or had disabilities?
No, they were just. I think she.
There's healthy
I think
babies?
she said that God told her to, or something like that. I don't know.
Man.
Like it was like one of those kooks.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, and I don't even think. I don't even think she got life in prison. I think she got like. She eventually come out in her lifetime. I don't think she has. I think if you kill a baby, I said the word.
Yeah, I don't know how that's even possible.
No,
that they let her out.
It's really bizarre. Like the that thing. But speaking of demented people, I was kind of fascinated by.
I got a little dark real quick.
We always kind of go to a dark area, but I wish I can pull. Maybe I can pull it up soon. But where I saw a video called this guy called Papa Meat. There's this one channel called Papa Meat. He's like in his mid to early 40s. He's an animator, and his animation YouTube page is called Meat Canyon. Meat Canyon, yeah. And his animation is very like Ren and Stimpy-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Like not the normal animation of Ren and Stimpy, but you know those scenes in Ren and Stimpy where they pause and kind of zoom in into someone's face, and it's really grotesque and disgusting.
Yeah,
it's pretty much that.
Okay.
But all it's that. It's just very grotesque and nasty. Similar to Flash Gits, yeah. But he has one video of just like going down this like list of murderers and people in death row that what their last meal was, and it's just the most bizarre, absurd thing like you can think of. I wish I pulled up the
I think I've seen this actually.
The list, but the most like badass last meal was actually from a woman. It was Warnos. Her last name was Warnos. Like Charlize Theron played her in Monster.
She killed her husband, right, or something like that.
She killed like multiple men.
Okay.
She was a prostitute, and during the deed, she would just kill them.
Oh wow.
Yeah, or but she's not technically a psychopath. But I think is more just like killing out of convenience. I don't know. I can't figure out why she killed them. But the movie's actually pretty good. I don't remember half of it, but her last meal was just a cup of coffee, which is kind of badass. It's like not bad. And then there's like absurd ones too, like just 5-course meals of just like hamburgers and fries and fried chicken and all that. But
yeah, I'd probably do like one of those, like a 5-course meal. For
example, and this maybe we can go this route. Why not? Taking away the whole death row thing, because I don't like seeing myself in that situation. For your last meal, like, what would you like it to be?
Ooh, that's tough. But right now, I would have to say maybe like a all-you-can-eat sushi type thing, where I could just like pick what I want, and the sushi chef's there, and then that's it. And
there's no time limit, by the way. It's like as much as you want to eat. For me, it would be a Korean hot pot. I'll just start saying that, or it'll be like a fogo de chao. Just sit there and just like for a whole day. If I knew this is definitely my last meal, maybe I'm sick or whatever. I'm not putting that out there in the universe, but hypothetically, that'll probably be one of those two things: a hot pot, a Korean hot pot, like barbecue place. Not a specific meal, but that's like the look. That's where I would want to be, and just start picking and choosing from there.
I was impressed. I went to Fogo de Chao actually. The one here in Paramus that just opened.
This one that just opened in Paramus?
Yeah, the Garden State Plaza.
No way. I gotta go there.
Yeah, and
I've been there. I've been to one 3 times, but in New York.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they opened one there, and I've never been to one. And I used to work with this girl that was like raved about that place. She loved it. And I went. They have an awesome salad bar, which you get included when you get like the, what is it called?
Meals?
No, the no, when you get like the Brazilian, the whole rodizio.
Rodizio.
Yeah, so you get the salad bar. And it's so popular there. I guess they even have like a unlimited salad bar, but that's all you can eat. You get no meat.
There's that option.
Price on that.
There's that option. Yeah.
And that's great. Because there's some meat on there, like but it's just like sliced like prosciutto and things like that.
Yeah, it's like pre-sliced. Mm-hmm. I gotta go now. Well, we'll see. Maybe I can like have my mom or my mother-in-law babysit. Actually, that's one thing that when we knew my wife was pregnant, I asked like my brother, my mom, some friends, and I said, hypothetically, if I did have a kid, would you be okay like babysitting? And they all said, yeah, of course, whatever you want. Like I'd be so happy if you had a kid. So whenever I want to go to Fogo de Chao, I'm gonna call them up. Like, hey, remember that one time you said you can babysit? So
yeah, knowing what I know now,
that's not gonna happen.
It's not that they won't want to. I'm sure that they do believe that. But once you have that child, you're gonna like
not want to give that a child.
Yeah, you're gonna be like, nah, this person can't watch this baby.
Yeah. No, this person's.
And I mean, of course, your family, it's your family, but still, nothing against, like, even one, my opinion, like, nothing against anyone, but like, really, the only people we've entrusted like, my baby to is like my mother.
Yeah, like hindsight is 20/20. Like you think, yeah, why not? Like, just drop her off and you take care of her, and then you're like,
You think about the environments that they're in, and they might not be unsafe, but for a baby. You're like, oh, where's this baby gonna? There's no bassinet here,
right?
It's gonna be on the floor, like on some like little thing, and like
there's too many stairs in this place. And
I mean, maybe we're overprotective. I don't know, but
I don't think you could be over. In my opinion, I don't think you could be overprotective with a toddler or a baby. I don't.
It's different once they're like 1 year old. Once they can walk a little bit, I think. It gets different, but yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah. What's also tough is Reddit. Like, I've seen, I should not have done it. So I regret only viewing a few things in my life. Mm-hmm. One thing I regret is in high school seeing terrorist videos of like, them getting journalists and unaliving them.
Oh yeah, like the cartel videos.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Never again. And that's all in high school, or it's like before YouTube was YouTube. It was just like videos online. Mm-hmm. I regret watching those, and also regret watching like baby accidents. And I'm like, I won't describe them, but there's like videos of baby accidents. I'm like, all right, this is terrible. All right, why am I okay? All right, I can't go to sleep now.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
I won't even describe any of it because it's really bad.
Yeah, I have seen like the PG version of like kids getting hurt, but it's like on Instagram. It's like
the kind of playful.
Like
really
they
hurt.
get like the kid hits a baseball, not a baseball, but like plastic ball, and it bounces off his brother's head.
Ball, I've seen that. I'm not saying that.
I know.
Some videos are bad.
Yeah, that's rough. Yeah, I mean, I've seen the gore sites, but it's usually like adults, like Tupac autopsy or something like that, like those kind of things. And it's for some people, they can't do that. I remember one time showing my dad something like that, and he was just like completely like, oh my god, like he couldn't even look at it. And I was like, okay, so I guess I can't show him this. But I was also young, so I was kind of like, I didn't get really how
I do think before 25, I think by the age of 25 and before that, I was a complete idiot. Like, my brain just did not function. I had no clue what empathy was. I thought I did, like, on paper. Like, I know what empathy is. I know what, like, how it is to feel bad for someone. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, but, like, your brain is still developing by the time you're 25. Mm-hmm. Like, your brain doesn't actually stop. Like, hey, it's not fully developed until that age. I remember after that age, between, like, 26 and 30, I was like, oh, like I used to find this funny. I used to find like this movie funny, or I used to find this video funny, or, and now I'm like, yeah, none of that's funny. And now I have students that are in the teen age, and yeah, I try. I mean, I don't blame them. It's like I get mad at them. I try to be as patient as possible and like trying to like explain to them like, hey, like, be insulting your friend, this and that, or saying these words, like that's actually pretty hurtful. They're like, nah, they're laughing though. I'm like, I know they're laughing. It's just like a self-defense, like it's like a nervous laughter kind of thing. When someone makes fun of you, you kind of laugh with them. But yeah, if I spoke to my younger self, I think I'll just punch myself in the face. I think like,
yeah,
I think I had no foresight, no knowledge of like what it is to like be responsible. Yeah.
And I think our age too, we were young when it was like the internet was like the Wild West.
Yeah, but you kind of grew up at adolescent, grew up with the internet.
There were no like internet laws like now, like, I mean, now, like, of course there's laws that they've applied that apply in the outside world. Like, let's say like don't mess with cats. I mean, I don't want to say the curse word, like that when, have you seen that documentary?
Don't mess with cats?
It's don't F with cats.
Don't F with cats.
You haven't seen that?
I'll look it up. No.
Oh my God.
It's really good. Educate me.
But in the video, all these people start looking for this guy because he was doing bad things to kittens in the videos and posting it online.
Mm-hmm.
A long time ago, those videos could exist on the internet. Now, like, Google will flag them and things like that. You know what I mean? Like, there's AI safeguards for, like, social media, for, like, content like that.
Yeah.
Before, it was like, there were places full of stuff like that.
Yeah, I've seen videos of, like, it was like a... I don't know what the demographic was, but it was of a man barefoot or sometimes with shoes on would like kill puppies. It was like dark like that, like stomping on puppies.
And this
it was
stuff,
really. I think it was like 16 when I saw that. I still remember it. Like
this kind of stuff was out there. Like it had just like porn had to become free, because porn never existed.
Yeah,
when I was young, when we were 13, we would have to download like a photo, and it was 56K. So kids don't even realize the photo would be like loading, and it'd be like, like almost like it's getting printed in front of you. Yeah, and then it would just be one picture, and it would just be like like the craziest thing, like you couldn't believe it. Then eventually, YouTube came out. Then it's like porn became like YouTube
was
like,
not regulated at all.
Videos like even YouTube is not the same anymore. I remember maybe like around 2008, there was so many conspiracy videos on YouTube like about Bush, aliens, Illuminati, all this stuff. Most of that stuff is gone.
Yeah, a lot of
that is gone. YouTube has been watered down. And I mean, not necessarily for a bad thing.
I think water in a good way, like is like, okay, this is like irresponsible to
corporate, and of course, and there's like good reasons too behind it. But that's why you got Rumble now, like where they could put all the conspiracy, that lean towards one side actually. But,
but I mean,
But the internet was so different. Like kids now, they have access to the internet, but it still wasn't the same. Like for us, like there was like true violence online that you could see all the time. Like if it was like the dark web now. It was dark, like the whole web was dark web back then.
There was like the there was no such thing as a dark web because the internet was the dark web, and then once it kind of got censored or a lot of like security blocks, I think it was like only 10% you can actually access to this point, or like 5% of the actual internet, and the rest of it is just like dark stuff. But I have gotten to a conspiracy like hole, but I'm drawing a blank on which one is actually true. It's the one where a lot of like wealthy people, creatives, go to the forest and have like rituals. I forgot the name of it. I'm like trying to like look it up. But it's the one thing that Alex Jones actually got right, technically. I hate to say, I hate to say it on our podcast that there was one thing that Alex Jones actually got right. It was like this, I guess equivalent to some sort of Illuminati type of thing, like a bunch of like politicians and wealthy people and.
Are you talking about Bohemian Grove?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Bohemian Grove. I was like, oh, that's actually real. That's a thing. That's not like hypothetical.
The real thing is, though, do they make pretend that they do these rituals and like it's kind of like a play, or do they really do the rituals? That's what everyone, but but they're there. They do go and do their little thing.
It's a real thing.
Yeah, because there's like all Skull and Bones and like all these societies that belong to like Yale University and all these like prestigious like colleges and universities that have rich histories,
Mm-hmm.
and they all do their little rituals and things, like. But the thing is, by now, like, they could have done it before and believed in it, but didn't mean that it was anything that was real. You know what I mean? Like, they could have killed someone back then and whatever, and now they just do like a play, like they do kill someone.
The reenactment.
Like, yeah, reenactments and.
What do you call it when it's like not a real person? It's a effigy type of thing.
Yeah.
Either way, it's just kind of like, what's up with this? What's going on? Like, even if it's just an act or a performative kind of thing, as in like, oh, it's just like a fun thing, kind of like it's like their Burning Man or whatever. But still, why? I know people that will go to Burning Man. I'm still like, why? Why? Are you okay?
You know what's funny?
What are you running away from?
I just thought of like, you're gonna watch this episode when you have your kid already. You're gonna be like, I'm not even that guy anymore.
No, and that that actually does happen where I'll watch an episode from like the first 10 or 15 or 20,
mm-hmm.
and I'll hear myself tell a story, and I'm like, I would have said that differently. I would have explained that a bit differently. Or I'll look back and be like, did I really just say that I would make out with like Brad Pitt for my like
that was like 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, did I really just say that? I did say that. Yeah, whatever. But it's one of those things where like in the moment I'm like, whatever, and then I watch it again. I'm like, oh, I'm an idiot. I've never once looked back at an episode and watched something. I'm like, that was smart. That was genius. I've always been like, you're an idiot. What are you talking about?
But you know what's funny? I have a conspiracy that I really like that I've known for about a long time, because I've been into conspiracies, and I'm more of like a curious spectator of conspiracy.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I know.
Like,
yeah, you've mentioned it, and I've always kind of pushed back.
Yeah,
because I'm always like, do we really want to
do that
condone or advocate it and push that false information? It's something I want to get into, but I want to figure out how to like present it in a way that's like, hey, this is just most likely bullshit, but it's fun to talk about.
Yeah.
So that's my worry, is like spreading it.
Yeah, like I don't have a tinfoil hat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't.
But it's a fun.
But there's things like
thing
like I used to tell you, or maybe I didn't tell you, but when I was a young kid, and like I said, we grew up on the internet, like learning the internet live.
Parents had no clue what was.
Since I was like maybe 12, I had a computer. I always blocked off the cameras on the webcam and like put tape over the laptop and like blocked it off. And my older sister and brother used to be like,
what are you doing?
Wow,
that's
like
weird.
And they wouldn't even say it to me. They'd say it to like my parents, like, what the fuck's this? Like
You're watching us.
And then, the whole NSA thing came out years later.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I did it wasn't because I thought the government was watching us or anything like that. It's because when I was that young and we were young kids, we used to hack people like for fun, because it was learning, you didn't have, it wasn't easy to hack someone, but it was
possible.
And it was like just basically like instant messenger. Like you'd go in their AIM and like delete their like send button on the AIM, so then now they can't send any messages, and then you'd like, and there'd be little programs you could download and you'd send them a file and then they'd click it, and then now you can delete their whatever.
So you were kind of fearful because you were somewhat aware of the capabilities.
Well, as you built yourself in this industry of hacking, and like It was just like, innocent, fun things, so to say.
Yeah, you're not stealing like their identity.
Yeah.
Or anything like that.
And then eventually you come to a point where you're like, okay, this is for fun and I'm done with this. Or there's ways to make money. There's ways to do bad things, and like some people take that route and then, they go work for the government or something,
yeah.
But once we hit that road with a bunch of friends and we used to do it together, we found out that we can hack someone's computer and look through their webcam.
Wow.
And then what we did was we didn't try to like, we were just idiots and we were like kids. So there was like 8 of us that were like sent a file to this one person, and then we looked on their webcam. And then we could see them on the computer. We were like, oh, my God, this actually works.
Interesting.
Then one kid is an idiot. But, I mean, at the same time, thank God he did that because God knows what could have happened. He prints something from her printer, and it says, we could see you. And then we're like, why would you do that? Like, it's not like we were going to try to do anything bad anyway. But why would you do that to let them know?
It was a woman?
No, it was one of our friends that it was a girl. But she wasn't like, like getting undressed or anything like that. She was just on the computer.
It was a person you actually knew.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. I'm thinking like it's like your neighbor down the street.
No, it was just some girl. We were like messing
Good thing,
around.
Because you don't want to incriminate yourself. I'm pretty sure.
And then he printed that. But the thing is, we could have just ended it there.
Yeah.
And then nobody knew, and she, whatever. And like we were just like, oh shit, that actually worked. But this kid prints it. Now the first thing she does, calls her father, and we see on the webcam the father comes over and looks at the computer. Now that's how you can get in trouble. Like that's how. And whatever.
I mean, it's like, I'm sure there's like a peeping Tom laws and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then that's like kind of where it ended for me, because I'm like, oh, the only next step is like doing things that can get you in trouble.
The next step is not anything good.
Yeah, and I mean at the same time, like I said, we were all 12. We were stupid kids, but some of my friends did continue in that world.
Wow.
And they went into IT, things like that. That's really the line you cross. Like use it for work. You become a professional defense. Cybersecurity, things like that.
So do you still cover all your cameras from your laptop?
Mean, if I could, but now it's just like your phone has a camera. You can't. Yeah. You're done. Like you're done. Like you're on camera all day at work, like everywhere.
Yeah, you're being watched. I mean, with the whole camera thing, I do know this, where literally the moment we knew that my wife was pregnant, like 9 months ago or plus, within like a few days I started getting like baby adverts, like immediately. And I'm like, I'm not researching anything, but all of a sudden I'm getting baby adverts and formula adverts.
Yeah,
things in the mail.
Your phone's listening to you.
I'm getting like literally got free formula in the mail.
Yeah, your phone is listening.
I'm like, I'm not even looking up formula, like. And it was addressed to us, to myself and my wife. I'm like, what is going on? Why am I getting like this stuff in the mail? So it's definitely, scary, to say the least.
Yeah. So I went on a little sidetrack, but being about the conspiracies, like when I said that, there is one that's really grabbed my attention recently. And it's something that I learned a long time ago, because what I was going to say is, I'm into conspiracies. I read a book a long time ago called Behold a Pale Horse.
Oh, I heard of that. I never read it, but I heard of it.
I read it in like 2006 or something.
Yeah,
like
it's
that,
a pretty old book.
And it was old then. There's a lot of stuff that we can get into. We shouldn't get into on this podcast, but one of the things in that book was that eventually, like there's a whole section of the book that's about like
it's a movie too.
The New World Order, and how they want to bring everything to a one world religion. That's a really old one, but basically what they were saying is that eventually what they would do, and this is bringing it back to the modern time now, is there would be some type of holographic imagery that they would develop where it would look like there would be aliens in the sky.
Is it called Behold a Pale Horse?
Behold a Pale Horse. Yes.
Behold a Pale Horse.
Yeah. And that they would use this fake alien attack mixed with like real military weapons that will attack the buildings and things like that to make it look like a real thing, to eventually, enact like, like shut down type things like COVID, like when there was a COVID shutdown and stuff like that. And then really that's when they really got you. Like, like now it's like you're surrounded by spaceships and there's things blowing up. What can you say? You can't say like, oh, this isn't real. Like
right.
And then there's nothing you can do. Like it's pretty much that's the end. And now they bring in this whole one world system and all this protect you. And people are gonna be happy. People are gonna feel protected. Like that's the whole game plan. And then recently I found out that there's this conspiracy called Project Bluebeam. And that's where you can look up, and it's like the really updated.
While you're
version
talking,
of that.
I'm like typing like Project Bluebeam.
Yeah, Project Bluebeam. Look that up, and it's really funny and interesting, especially now where they're like trying to bring out all these like mummified aliens, and they're all of a sudden now it's like this whole like aliens exist and all this. Why not this whole time?
Like Mexico, say yeah, we got aliens. Look.
Yeah. And why until now?
Looks kind of odd. But
do you think it's because now we have the technology to carry out such a Project Bluebeam? We didn't have it back then. Like they didn't have a way to make this, like holographic things, and we do now. Like, could that be why now they're like starting to like give you little appetizers of aliens? Yeah. And whatever. I'm not saying I believe in that. I'm just saying when you think about it. Why are you pushing these aliens on us now? And why nobody cares?
It's very odd that all of a sudden it's like growing up, it's like aliens still exist. But then now it's like, oh yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, and we have alien bodies too and all this. Like, why are you giving us so much now?
It's very just, wait, what? Like, what are you talking about? I mean, I don't think the word believed, but I've always lean towards the universe is really, really big. The Milky Way is really, really big. Could we really be the only ones out there? Highly unlikely. And like it's kind of hubristic to think that we're the only intelligent life in it, ever in the universe. So I always kind of lean towards there's a possibly likelihood that most likely, probably. However, at the same time, it's kind of weird. It's always like it's never like in the middle of New York City. It's always like in the middle of nowhere, and it's just always some country person is like, "I saw it right over there, a stone's throw away, out yonder." It's like, why is it always like the same story? And that doesn't make the story true or false. It's just more like, why is it always the same story? Why is it always the same place or plate areas? Why don't you ever see it like...
Did you ever look up Battle of Los Angeles?
No.
Look it up really quick.
Okay.
Well, anyway, there was this whole event that happened. I think it was like the 70s or the 60s. Might have even been the 50s. But they were fearing that there was going to be like an attack from, I think maybe Japan or someone. And supposedly it was like an alien spaceship. And military was shooting up at it. There was like thousands of people out in like public. And there's like literal pictures of it. You could see it like pretty crazy, like spotlights on the craft and things like that.
So I guess let me just read it. So the Battle of Los Angeles, also known as the Great Los Angeles Air Raid, is the name given by contemporary sources to a rumored attack on the continental United States by Imperial Japan and the subsequent anti-aircraft artillery barrage, which took place from late 24. That's kind of weird. February 24th to early February 25th, 1942. Oh, so some time ago in Los Angeles. The incident occurred less than 3 months after the U.S. entered World War II. Newspaper in time published a number of reports. I never heard of this.
Yeah, it's really interesting, right? Like, how did I never hear of this?
That's odd.
But,
I mean, it's not similar, but there's a lot of stuff out there, a lot of information that's just, like, not talked about. Like, I don't know if I'm allowed to say the RAPE word. Can I say that word?
I don't think, but you spelled it though. You spelled it.
Yeah. So there's this a true occurrence. It's not a conspiracy. It actually happened, called the Rape of Nanking. Pretty much when Japan took over China or most of it, and there's a location called Nanking, and the story is like gruesome. It's like really, really bad. It's like Japanese officers would like use civilians as like how to test like how sharp their katanas are. Like they'll like, okay, put your arm out, and then let me test out my sword real quick. Like it's really bad. So if you want to not sleep at night, Look that up. Rape of Nanking. It's very dark of like how demented or messed up humans are. Like we don't need monsters. We have humans. We're pretty messed up.
Yeah. I mean, everything from World War II as well, like all those experiments Germany carried out. Like there's some darkness out in humanity, like some of the stuff that what do they call them, the SS, right? The German?
The SS.
Yeah, they would like they would carry out on like children in towns like in Poland and things like that. Really dark stuff, It's crazy that like it can get that bad, if it's not like checked. If humans aren't checked,
But to conclude the Battle of Los Angeles, at the bottom it says, a photo published in Los Angeles Times in February 26 has been 1942 has been featured a UFO featured in UFO conspiracy theories as evidence of extraterrestrial visitation. They assert that the photo clearly shows searchlights focused on alleged alien spaceship. Interesting.
Yeah, and it's that picture up on the top.
It's like all scrolled up, and that's the picture.
It looks like out of a sci-fi movie, but this is also 1922.
1942.
Oh, 1942.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah. So that's an actual picture. Okay.
Yeah, so check that stuff out. Get back to us. Leave some comments.
Babies, and then we ended up in UFOs and aliens, and
leave some comments.
How dark and messed up humans are.
Like, subscribe. Yeah, we have some merch too. That's new. I mean, I should have mentioned it like 4 episodes ago, but we have some merch below. Should be like right down there. Yeah,
the shop store. Right? It's right below the description. Like it's like below description, I believe, or description, and then there's
send us a picture of you guys wearing some gear, and we'll shout you out on the show.
I should get some too. I think I said that already, but yeah. I do want to design a shirt that says girl dad, and boy dad. I'm a girl dad. You're a girl dad, or girl mom or boy mom. I don't know. Yeah. Those kind of I gotta figure out how to like make it cute. Maybe have a baby on it or like a little silhouette with baby face.
Yeah, and we're also gonna we're heading to like the 50th episode at this point. I'm thinking of like revamping this intro and new theme song and stuff like that. It's about that time. We've kind of rode with this one for a good amount of time, and the intro served us well. But I think it's a new day.
And I just feel like our comment section is just lacking. Like I have I'm not joking. I have an archery page now, and I'm not joking. I have like maybe like 100 subscribers, and I get dozens of comments.
That's the thing. Like when we talked about it in the past, it's like when you're very hyper specific on a niche, you're gonna get people that comment a lot. But we're so broad, like. And
I'll get like 50 views, 100 views, whatever, maybe 1,000 if I'm lucky, and I get so much engagement. But like these videos get a few thousand views. I mean,
if I did a channel like tying knots, I'm gonna get people on there like your knots are trash, bro.
Or if
stuff like that.
Or if we started just a podcast on just UFOs and just conspiracy, I'm sure like
our MMA episodes. Remember?
We did that, but they kind of sucked.
No, I know. I mean, it depends. I mean, if it was just an MMA podcast, what I meant was we got comments on those.
That's true. We did get comments on the specific MMA episodes.
People get fired up when you talk about Amanda Nunes and shit.
People got butthurt. Get over yourself.
But so we'll see you on the next episode. Have a happy new year. Right?
Yeah.
Look at me.
Happy New Year 2024.
Have a happy new year.
Around the corner.
Maybe we might have another episode that we might do like a holiday thing because we didn't really talk about holidays. No, because we're in September still, but it's December. But
recording in September for a December episode.
Or maybe we'll just come back hard with like one of those like, what did we do? The resolution episode
like
we did last
it's
time?
Like resolution / holiday episode.
There you go.
I think I might purposely just for content, I might just do a resolution, just to have something to talk about, because I rarely ever do resolutions.
Yeah, that's what, you know what? That's what we'll do this year. We'll pick a resolution and do it.
Yeah.
Just to
kind of stick with it.
Just the words are tough resolution. All right. Thanks, guys. I don't know which camera I'm going to be outroing on, but we'll see you soon on the next episode. Happy New Year.
Bye-bye.